Welcome back to the Barrel Talk Podcast. We are back with another episode. Joined with Nick Wynn on the call. Connor Carsons, how we doing?
Yes, sir.
Good, man. 1 week down.
Interesting week one for sure. A lot of drama just to even start the day with the whole Tyreek Hill situation. And then Justin Fields starting over Russell Wilson because of the injury. But we got to love overreactions to week one. I feel like we did get a good enough slate to have a good amount of overreactions. But like we usually do with the week-to-week episodes, we can kind of start right at Thursday night, opening night.
Yep.
Talk about Ravens and Chiefs. Whoever wants to start, if you guys want to start with the Chiefs or the Ravens.
The Chiefs haven't missed a beat. They look the same.
Even better.
Yeah, somehow they look better. Nick, you were right with him looking at Xavier Worthy, and he's like, "Oh my God, Tyreek Hill!" He's just so fast. That jet sweep.
Just so fast.
That jet sweep was insane. Like if you
untouched
jet sweep. Like I think they want to use him more like that. I still need to see more of him as a receiver because the one catch he had was a busted coverage and he was wide fucking open. So I'm not going to be like, oh, he just killed him. Like, he literally just ran past him.
It could be like a J-Mo situation, how the Lions use him in certain packages. Like, you see J-Mo really get used in a bunch of different packages for the Lions just because of his speed. You just got to get the ball in his hands, and then good things are going to happen. Especially when you have good receiving threats in Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce still.
Yeah, so it looks like Rashee Rice is probably not going to get suspended.
No.
As of right now, I'm just going to assume he's not. Kelce had a slow game, but, I mean, everybody else picked up the slack, so it doesn't really matter. O-line looked fine. Mahomes looked fine. He had one pick that was a little underthrown because he got hit.
Yeah.
Other than that, their offense looks the same. I mean, their offense looks fine. Their defense still looks good, but it doesn't look like it's not like it's impenetrable. It's not like people like the Ravens were able to like move the ball, and like it's like not like they were stuffing them. But yeah, the Ravens just. The Chiefs own the Ravens. Like, it is what it is.
Is that what it is now?
I think so.
Yeah.
Like, they're supposed to be the one team in the AFC that's supposed to beat the Chiefs, and they can't. So.
It's just very confusing. Like, sometimes the Ravens look, like, really, really dominant, and then the other times it looks like they don't know what they're doing. I mean, Lamar Jackson wanted it. Like, he was putting everything on the line for that game.
Because they're going to come out, like, and just beat the piss out of someone.
They got the Raiders next week.
Yeah, like, the Raiders or, like, the next week, like, and then they play the Chiefs, and I think they just, like, it's like the coaching staff just overthinks everything that they're doing. Like, I think Derrick Henry had two or three rushing attempts in the second half. Like, I get you're losing, but shit, man. You can't, like, your offense is based around running the ball. Like, you're not going to outthrow the Chiefs. Like, it's like what happened in the AFC game. Like, you're not going to outthrow the Chiefs.
It was tough because they were dealing with O-line problems, and I understand you have Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry was also getting stood up at the line of scrimmage, like, more times than not when they were running the ball.
Derrick Henry is the kind of running back that you got to, like, keep feeding him, and he gets hotter and hotter, like, as you go. And, like, he can't, obviously, if you're losing, like, you can't really, Derrick Henry's not a passing threat, so, like, that's why Justice Hill was in the game for so much, for, like, checkdowns and stuff. And, I don't know, wild finish. A great game, first of all, to start the season. With that,
Lamar just needs to hit that throw to Zay Flowers.
Yeah, he said he wasn't even throwing it to Zay Flowers.
It was Rashad Bateman.
Yep, it was going to Bateman.
Weird, because Bateman is covered. Did he just not see Flowers?
Apparently, Bateman was supposed to sit down, like in that little gap, and he kept running. And then Zay Flowers, like, it was in between both of them.
Yeah. If Zay Flowers would have caught that, it would have been like...
That play's not even as bad as the first one, too.
Likely.
Yeah.
I mean, he placed it the only place where you couldn't get it.
Shoes too big.
I'm not gonna put this so on Lamar though.
No, obviously Lamar tried his hardest. He had fucking like 18 rushes for like 100-something yards. Excuse me.
When I look at it in terms of the argument with Lamar is like his throwing ability, like late in games and everything else like that. But I'm looking at like both the championship game and this game versus the Chiefs, and I'm thinking about what got them into the position late in the game to where they had to play that way. The O-line, the 3-4 straight flags that just killed the momentum for the Ravens to start the game.
Illegal formation.
Like, it sucked for them. And then in the championship game last year, it was all the defensive holdings and the defensive, like, roughing the passer, which it happens with Mahomes. Mahomes is running out of bounds. Somebody always seems to hit Mahomes going out of bounds for some reason.
The passer, I think. Fuck, he might got 2.
He got 2
I
of
think
them.
he got 2. The second one was an offsetting one because they already had a holding penalty.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just like, I don't know. Football players are stupid. Like, we've been over this. Like, they just do everything wrong. Like, Mahomes is running out of the bounds. Like, why are we even near him?
You're diving. He was diving at his legs.
Yeah, why? He's running out of bounds. Why are we even diving? Like, you know he's going to go out of bounds.
It's just stupid stuff. Like, they have a really, really good elite level defense, but I feel like their defense hurts them more than the offense does at times because the defense will get a dumb little roughing the passer that kills the whole momentum for the drive and everything else like that. I just feel like I can't put it solely on Lamar, and people want to look at the passing ability and the bad passes. But I'm like, bro, look at the penalties that they always have against the Chiefs that are caused by dumb old line play or like the defense just being stupid and hitting Mahomes out of bounds. Like, I feel like it's happened like the past 3 times they played the Chiefs.
Well, the legal formation thing is weird because like we were looking at it and I'm like, why is he so far back?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, I'm gonna get it. So then they do it and he calls it for him and I'm like, okay. And then he does it again.
And then again.
And then again. And I'm like, is someone gonna tell this guy to scoot up?
Yeah.
And like, I get it.
Up, dude.
I get it. Like, as a left tackle, playing tackle is like one of the hardest positions in the league. And it's because the D lineman, if I'm lined up right here, it's because the D lineman's all the way over there. And I'm trying to get a better jump. Like, I see people going early, like getting false starts like Jawan Taylor does and stuff, but he was dead ass lining up as like a tight end.
Yeah.
And it didn't really like make any sense. And I don't understand why no one was telling him, hey, you kind of got to scoot up a little bit. You don't even have to go up that far. Just scoot up and you're not going to get the penalty. And I guess the refs told him that. They gave him a warning one and then threw the flag. So it was very, very odd.
So it's just frustrating seeing like a team like play. I want to say I was disappointed in the way they played, but for them to still be well within that game for the entirety of it, like
would have tied it.
So they would have went for 2.
They would have went for 2.
We were watching
John
it together.
Harbaugh.
It's crazy, but
Harbaugh was literally he was literally going like this to Lamar, like going for 2, because they do that shit.
Yeah.
And
when you can just run a read option with Derrick Henry and Lamar, like 9 times out of 10, you're probably gonna get it. But I guess the Chiefs, they probably wouldn't have got it.
I don't think they would have got it. And then, like, they would have been in the press conference, been like, "Oh, we're gonna do that 100% of the time." Blah blah blah. So I don't know. Really good start to the season. Like, Ravens, I think they'll be fine, but like, just when they play the Chiefs, I'm just gonna assume they're gonna lose. Like, because I feel like the Chiefs or the Ravens will end up in the AFC Championship again.
They need to get one like Rashad Bateman to step up a little bit more because their offense, yes, it can be explosive at times and it can be hard with Lamar getting out of the pocket, but they are the most predictable offense I've ever seen. Zay Flowers, I feel like, is always in special different packages on bubble screens or jet sweeps.
It's bubble screen, jet sweep, like RPO to him. Like, Mark Andrews was non-existent. Like, I know
Left tackle.
likely kind of picked up for that, like, because they run the double tight end like formation, but like, Mark Andrews, we got to do something. Like, is he just running around getting cardio, or Lamar isn't even looking at him? So,
I think he'll be fine. He had the car accident thing like a couple weeks before the season, but like I feel like Likely just got going and they just kept on feeding Likely.
13 targets or something. Like,
yeah, so I mean,
I saw Andrews was still running routes.
Yeah,
He supposed to be getting targeted.
I mean, Likely would catch a little check down and like pick it up for 10 like every single time, and like
he's good.
God, I like how they do run the 2 tight end sets, but I just feel like there's times where like the Chiefs are like, all right, we just know like unless it's Zay Flowers beating somebody downfield, like everything's gonna be happening in front of us.
The Ravens definitely don't have that big playability, which like sucks because like they don't have like a speedy receiver or it's
Lamar. That's the big playability is Lamar. Which you can't rely on Lamar to do legit everything at times. Like, you got to have somebody be able to make that deep play downfield at times. And it's usually Zay Flowers, but then I feel like against the Chiefs, it was really just screen, which he's good at. But there's times where you got to hit him over the middle and catch him in stride, and you got to go pick it up. But I'm not worried about the Ravens at all. They're going to be just fine. First game with Derrick Henry, they're going to clean some things up for sure. And their defense still looked good after losing their DC, so I'm not really tripping. Then we can get into Friday night. Eagles, Packers, which no defense was played in Brazil.
No. God, no.
Heard the field conditions were terrible.
Yep. It was pretty funny because we were sitting there and I was like, Saquon Barkley yards. That's what it is. It's rushing yards. It was always rushing yards. First toss to him, he slips and loses 5 yards. So I thought that was pretty funny. And then I thought that was chalked up, but he ended up having a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
And when they started to get the I think he probably got some different shoes or something with different spikes on the bottom. I think a lot of people probably did that because the field sucked.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that Packers defense kind of got carved. I mean, A.J. Brown made light work of fucking Jair Alexander, and he's supposed to be like a top 5 corner. Devontae Smith, he was quiet, but he didn't he was still there. He was still making plays.
Every catch he made was like a big one though. Third down or red zone.
Yeah. And then Saquon getting 2. I mean, you could look at Saquon to win Offensive Player of the Year if he keeps it up.
They're disgusting because you just.
And then you get your usual Jalen Hurts interception.
Oh yeah.
Which was disgusting. He threw it in triple coverage.
3 turnovers, bro.
Because
and then the fumble.
You name all those guys, and then you still have Dallas Goedert, who can still kill you any given game. They have so many options to where that Packers defense looked a little sorry at times. That's kind of what is making me worry so much about them with the Jordan Love injury, because you were fine this game because Jordan Love's obviously going to be aggressive downfield, but not Malik Willis. And if you can't stop anybody, not saying every team's going to have the talent of the Eagles, but if you're going to be giving up 20 a game.
Their run game did not look good.
No.
It looked very weird. It looked very stagnant with Josh Jacobs. They were getting, it was a lot of up the gut kind of stuff for 2 yards every play. And that just doesn't work against the Eagles, who have one of the best D lines in football.
Packers also have one of the better O lines in football, so that's why I was surprised Josh Jacobs really couldn't get off until later in the game. It was more of receiving threat rather than up the gut and him running. But I'm not going to take too much stock into it just off week 1.
Mm-hmm. But Jordan Love out 4 to 6 weeks. MCL sprain, nothing torn. MCL sprain.
That's tough because
I don't know how it's not torn.
Yeah, it looked
watching
wicked.
the video. It looked like his kneecap was out of socket and all that kind of stuff. And yeah,
this is worrisome. This kind of gets me into one of my, I guess 2 of my takes that I did have, kind of hot takes going into it. I think there's no reason why Saquon Barkley shouldn't damn near score every game.
Yeah,
he should get in the end zone multiple times every single game with how they receiving threat and everything else. And we can go through the next 6 games for the Packers, because they're 0-1 right now. They have a Week 10 bye. I thought the bye was a lot earlier when we talked about it in the group chat. They have a Week 10 bye, so out 4 to 6 weeks. Could be longer, could be shorter. So they got the Colts next week.
Is that at home?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to help you that you're at home, but
I don't think they win that.
Man,
after the way I saw Saquon run the ball against them.
big JT game, loading.
Yeah. So I'm saying they're 0-2 at that point. Then you go to the Titans.
Malik Willis revenge game.
Could.
Oh my god.
They would need their defense to hoop.
It's in Tennessee.
Yeah.
That game's going to suck.
That's all-time shitter.
That game's going to be terrible. But, if it's in Tennessee, Tennessee could easily win that game. Jeez. Do they win a game with Malik Willis?
So they're 0-3.
No.
Then they got Vikings and Lambeau. Division game.
I mean, shit.
I think if Jordan Love's not playing with how our defense could be.
If Jordan Love's not playing, I'm just going to assume they're going to lose.
Yeah.
You can name off all these games. Don't they play the Cardinals or something?
So they're 0-4, say they lose to the Vikings. Then you go to the Rams.
Yeah, you're losing that game.
Then you go Arizona and Texans at home.
This is all saying if Malik Willis is starting all these games, because I know they have talked to Ryan Tannehill, supposedly, to bring him in.
Even then, you're bringing Ryan Tannehill damn near ready at the start of the season. It's not going to look good.
So it's going to be very weird. I'm just not going to assume the Packers are going to win without him.
I think there's
and then if you're 0-6 at that point, what are you
That's
what are we
fear.
even fighting for at that point? You're kind of the season's not over, but you're gonna have to do some crazy shit, and he's gonna be hurt.
Especially at that point when you could see everybody. So they only have one division game within these first couple, and then you're everybody in the division's still good. You still got to play 5 division games. I just think him coming off of an injury, I think there's maybe 1, maybe 2 wins, depending on how the Vikings and Sam Darnold look, especially that Titans game. That sucks that it's on the road. But, what we've seen from Malik Willis in his career, I wouldn't be shocked if they started out 1-5, 0-6, and then they're kind of already out of the race because of how that defense looked. I'm not saying, everybody's got a talented offense like the Eagles.
That'll just prove, how valuable Jordan Love really is for them. And, like, it makes sense he got hurt. He just signed the biggest fucking deal ever. Like, of course.
And it's not even, like, a crazy injury because he could still come back this year. But then you're looking at the point where, like, you're 1-5, 0-6, and you're like,
what are we,
would
like,
rather
doing?
have a top 5, top 10 draft pick with already this young roster that we have?
They don't think like that in the NFL, but, like, because they're still going to go out and try to win and stuff. But, like, you're really just sitting there at, like, 0-6, 0-7, kind of the mid-season of at mid-season. You're like, well, fuck. Do we even have a chance to be making the playoffs? Like, should we even be trying? Mm-hmm. Do we even bring back Jordan Love at that point? Like,
it really depends on how they look.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Very odd. But yeah, I think the Eagles are going to fix a lot of their turnover situations.
Because it would suck to have Love come back for something that might be up in the air, might not matter, and then him really get hurt. Now he's out, even going into next year.
So Malik Willis, good luck next week, man.
Yeah, because I mean they have a tough little. It's not the worst stretch in the world by any means, but it's definitely a tough little stretch.
AR look good.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's not an easy stretch.
So I mean, especially you get the Titans, where that just screams Titans win that game in Tennessee. So it's gonna be very interesting. That's kind of just my takes on what I saw out of the Packers and everything else like that, because I think his value is gonna skyrocket because they do need him that bad. But it's gonna be interesting to see the next couple of weeks. We can get into Caleb Williams' debut. Connor, you can go ahead and get the floor. Your Bears.
Looked like shit. It was pretty bad. Pretty bad first half.
Defense, though.
Defense, I've been know this. I've known our defense was really good. I didn't think Darryl Taylor was going to have that much of an impact, but he started. And I couldn't tell you if Montez Sweat played or not. I really don't know. He didn't really do much if he did play. But Darryl Taylor, 2 sacks, forced fumble. He got us back in the game, basically. Then the block punt helped a lot. Jonathan Owens fucking picked that up. And I don't know, the offense just looked stagnant. It was a really stagnant offense. It was a lot of missed deep balls. Caleb should have had a touchdown to Keenan Allen, but Keenan Allen literally dropped it. It was literally right to him, and he dropped it. So I can't say that. He said he's going to get better, everything. He didn't care. It didn't really seem like he cared that he played too bad, because he was probably just so into the game and like the emotion of winning. Like he said he's going to fix it and everything, but it is really tough to look at this game and then be like, oh, we got to go into Houston and beat them. Be like, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. But yeah, I mean, overall, the Soldier was loud. Oh, they were rocking. But yeah, it's cool to be 1-0. It's been a minute since we've been like 1-0. So, and who knows? Maybe we'll go out and show some swag on Sunday.
God, it's just because your defense is going to put up a good showing.
They'll just be on the field for too long, is what I think.
And I just feel like C.J. Stroud's going to have long, methodical drives that are going to wear the defense down.
And then it's like Bears 3 and out. I'm like, sick.
I don't know.
Yeah, our O-line looked like piss, too. We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
The interior O-line looks like shit.
One of your guards got absolutely blown up by one of the safeties that were blitzing in. So.
And then Darnell Wright and, oh, fuck. I can't even remember his name. I'm a fake fan. Our other left tackle, the tackles looked fine, and no one was getting like to his blind side and everything, so that looked good. I mean, Rome Odunze got hurt. That's not good.
Did you really?
Yeah, Valdez Jr. ran like a stretch and he fucking tabletopped him basically, and he has like an MCL sprain as well. But he doesn't need surgery on it, I don't think. So
Keenan Allen got up limping out of the back of the end zone. That
of course, his old ass. His old ass. But DJ Moore looked fine. DJ Moore is our guy. Yeah, Caleb Williams told Torrey Taylor he wouldn't be punting much. I think he punted 9 times. So he looked good though.
I think he's gonna be fine. I'm not worried about it at all.
It's his first game in the NFL. Like everybody's gonna blow it up because they're gonna be like, "Oh, he's the number 1 pick, like generational guy." Be like, "Bro, what did you expect?
Yeah,
does this motherfucker have to come in and throw 400 yards and 5 touchdowns in his first game?"
Yeah,
I'd be like, "Geez, man,
nobody's even won a first overall pick."
He's the first. He's the first quarterback overall pick that has won a game ever. Like that's insane. His first debut game.
I think he needs to like be more just. I know the interior line was bad, but just be more aware in the pocket at times, because I feel like he tries to play hero too much, like he did in college a lot of the times.
He scrambled a little bit. But
you can check it down. Like nobody's gonna say nothing if you check it down to Swift, like fucking
our run
for a whole
wasn't
drive.
Very good either. We couldn't run the ball worth anything. And then in the second half, we kind of just like the offense damn near went out there to just waste time half the time. Like we'd get like a first down here and there. It was like we would get to midfield. And then that's when it would like fall apart. Like we couldn't get past that like 40, and then you're kind of in like no man's land because like Cairo Santos ain't kicking no fucking 55-yarder.
Yeah.
So like you're gonna end up going for it on like 4th and 5, and then somehow there'd be a penalty, and then you're punting, and I don't know. It was just a lot of dumb stuff that kind of happened. But I mean, it's week 1.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to clean up, but y'all defense looked good.
Defense looked really good. Jalen Johnson, CB1.
Defense is going to keep you guys in a lot of the games. It's just if Caleb can be consistent enough early on to like really, because you guys have an easy schedule. We've talked about you guys and having possibly double-digit win season. This is a good start to that, especially with how messy the game actually was to still win. But I mean, it's the Bears who.
It's a gritty win.
The Bears didn't score a touchdown and still won
don't
somehow.
need to.
Will Levis gave y'all the game on a silver platter, which me in the first quarter is Will Levis the guy in the group chat.
Guess not.
Probably the worst
Gets
consecutive
strip
plays.
sack, then throws a pick 6.
No,
and
he's
then
not. No,
and then throws a pick to end the game.
The on the knees, hands on head.
Was so funny.
It's the best picture from week 1.
Oh my god. Next we can get into, is it going to be probably the upset of the weekend? Is it going to be another just slow start for the Bengals this season? They have Kansas City next week on the road. That's an afternoon game. Is it just the classic Bengals start out 1-4 and then turn it up late?
Probably. They need T. Higgins bad.
Yeah.
That offense, like, there were also a couple plays where I saw like their tight end fumbled on like the goal line.
Mike Gesicki had a touchdown, insane ball, insane grab, but it fell out when he hit the ground.
Like Jamar Chase was kind of fine, but like Christian Gonzalez is like locking him up. Like he's really good, and then they don't have like that other guy without T. Higgins. So I don't know. It's just I was just disappointed in the Bengals. Like,
right,
you're just losing to the Patriots, who are projected like 4 wins this season.
The Patriots defense looked pretty fucking good,
but I guess if you're gonna do it now.
I couldn't tell if it was the Patriots defense looking that good or the Bengals offense looking that bad. Because there was a time like when they got the ball to make a game-winning drive, and it's like 2nd or 3rd down, and they're like pretty good punt. They're backed up almost into their own end zone, and Joe Burrow drops back, and like he has Chase like burning the DB. Like Chase one-on-one is about to just be wide open for damn near touchdown, and then he just checks it down to Chase Brown, and then it's like 3rd down. They already wrap him up, and then the game's pretty over right there.
I mean, Zach Moss looked fine. He had a touchdown. He looked fine.
I just don't. It's just frustrating, because they gave up. Because their run game, it looked fine, but it looked better if they just had Joe Mixon.
Could have just signed him back.
Like, I don't know why they didn't want to sign Joe Mixon back. Why are we just going out here and thinking every running back is like
expendable?
Like, some running backs aren't expendable. Like, you saw Joe Mixon absolutely eat with the Texans week 1.
He tore the Colts up.
So, like, not saying he would have been just doing the same exact shit for the Bengals because it's different teams, but like still, like you're giving up Joe Mixon for nothing when you had the money to just pay him. And it's not like he was asking for like a bag. Like you could have just paid him and still had a solid RB room. And even then you could have still brought in Zach Moss, who is a career backup.
Yeah.
Like why are we acting like every single backup can go to a team and start now?
Just start.
Like I just hate that mindset that teams have. It's stupid.
I think the Bengals front office is incompetent.
Yeah.
And should not own a football team. And I think they could be closing in on being irrelevant again.
Ooh.
I think so. I don't know about y'all, but I think it's a little coincidental that just a few days before the season starts, T. Higgins just starts hurting. And Jamar Chase all of a sudden has food poisoning. When neither of them have contracts. I don't know, man. We're like selling the name rights to pay Joe Burrow. We're selling TVs to pay Jamar Chase, and we haven't even done that still. I do not get good vibes from this team. They start bad every year. I know they come back in the end of the season every single year, but like, I gotta see it to believe it because these guys just disappoint me every time.
It's gonna be hard for them to be like irrelevant with somebody like Joe Burrow, who is still a top 3 to 5 QB in the league. But I get what you're saying. Like
if they can't keep these guys around, who says that
Joe Burrow's even there?
Keep Joe Burrow.
Well, he did just sign a bag though.
I know, but if he, I guess he can demand a trade.
That market for Joe Burrow would be.
This is the most
insane.
player available that this league has ever been. He can just demand a trade.
It's just this kind of gets me into like one of my other hot takes that I did have. This goes into the Jags too. They're paired up and I have a team on the back end. have a team on the back end. So this is my hot take. This is like one of the hotter ones that I do have. Zach Taylor or Doug Peterson will be fired at the end of the year because one of these two teams is going to disappoint. And I think with the Bengals, it's a consistent theme every year. There's no reason why they start so fucking bad and underprepared to start the year.
Mm-hmm.
There's times yesterday where they just looked underprepared. That's all it was. They just thought, oh, walkover game for the Patriots. We're looking already ahead to the Chiefs in week 2. That's what it looked like. But for Zach Taylor's teams to be coming into the year with this much talent on offense, even in past years, to be starting out like 1-4, like, it's just inexcusable. And then Doug Peterson with the Jags, you're up 17-0 on the road against Miami.
Oh my god!
And you blow the game.
I think it's more realistic for Zach Taylor to get fired than Doug Peterson.
I think Doug Peterson could be gone.
I think so too. But Doug Peterson, if he keeps
it up, he'll definitely be out of there. Like, I could see them keeping him for this year. He'll be fine or whatever. Then next year, you're like really on the hot seat.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is Zach Taylor's hot seat year. I also think this is Robert Saleh's hot seat year.
That's what I was talking about on the back end. So the back half of this take was I also throw the Jets into this conversation with Robert Saleh as well, because there is a Hall of Fame coach and Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
And you're giving Bill Belichick either a shot with Joe Burrow.
He said he wants to coach next year.
Yeah, so you give Bill Belichick, he would change the organization of the Bengals in general if they got Bill Belichick with Joe Burrow. Mm-hmm. Same with Trevor Lawrence. They're already QB ready guys to go in to compete for Super Bowls. And then you also talking about the Jets with Aaron Rodgers, who already have a built-in elite level defense. So like those three coaches I feel like are immediately on the hot seat if I'm in front office. That's kind of my take. I think Bill Belichick is looming and looking at all these teams and like, man, maybe the Chargers wasn't the move, but like I can get the Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, or Aaron Rodgers with that defense with the Jets.
Trevor Lawrence with Bill Belichick would be cinema.
I think Doug Peterson is on the hot seat for sure, especially if they go like 8-9, like, and they're well within these games. Mm-hmm. Like it's not like they're getting like killed, like they're in these games.
24-7. ETN just fumbles into the end zone, and then Doug Peterson speed runs losing a game.
Yes. And like they had nothing going Miami's way. Like Miami was getting killed. That's how much momentum the Jags had on the road. Like,
hey, good teams find a way to win.
If ETN puts that touchdown in, I can see Miami just folding the rest of the game.
Good teams find a way to win.
Yeah.
I just think it's frustrating.
That was the turning point.
Yeah, I just think it's just frustrating to see.
3 plays later is the Tyreek Hill 80-yard touchdown, and then.
Mm-hmm. Then the momentum changes, and then you go 3 and out, and then right back because Tua was playing like shit the entire first half. Like they only had a good fourth quarter.
Well, Evan Ingram didn't do nothing.
Yeah,
he was just there.
Brian Thomas
Christian Kirk did nothing.
Gabe Davis is fat, so like there's nothing to like. Brian Thomas is your only weapon.
They're just I don't know what it is. Their offense is just so. It's either they're hot or they're cold. Like it's like sometimes you can't even really rely on ETN at times. Like I know Bigsby had like a couple bigger runs.
Because then after ETN fumbled, he basically didn't run the ball again.
Yes.
He ran tank basically the rest of the game.
It's just so weird, and I'm just like, I keep coming back to the same problem where like it has to be something with like Doug Peterson, like kind of how I think it is with something with Zach Taylor and how they always start so nonchalant ever since the Super Bowl, and then like. They're not in a division to where they can afford to be fucking 1-4.
Yeah, I mean,
like it's just so annoying. I think if I'm looking at Bill Belichick and I'm looking at these 3 teams that could be having head coaching openings, like,
hey, I mean, shout out Patriots, man.
The Jags defense is like not bad anymore.
Yeah,
I don't think that Jags defense is anything to scoff at now.
The Jags are just so up and down throughout games. And then the Bengals obviously have kind of issues on offense with their whole receiver room, like you said, with the contracts and everything else like that, to where I think it's just so messy at the moment. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, shout out Patriots, man.
Oh, yeah.
Good job. Like, I'm not gonna put anything past the Patriots. Like, you played your game. You did it. Ramondre Stevenson hooped. He did really good. Jacoby was a game manager. Like, he did what he did to win, and their defense was hooping. So
God, he went down. He got hit late after the play, and I was like, he got up limping. I was like, Drake may come in this bitch and close it out in the second half. I was like, oh, no, but it didn't happen. Stoll was telling me all week. He said in the group chat, he was like, Patriots gonna upset the Bengals and then lose every game the rest of the year.
Yep.
I was
it's looking like it. It's looking like it right now. And then Miami, I mean, yeah, they looked like shit in the first half. then they got it going. Tua kind of found his stride. Tyreek finally got open. Waddle did pretty good. I mean, Achane got in. I mean, I think Miami. Yes, this was a close game. Yes, you were losing by a lot, but like, I think they'll still be fine. Mm-hmm. I think they're still good.
They're good, but I think
they found a way to win. Tua led a game-winning drive.
Yeah, they're like a hit or miss team too. Like they could get shut out so quick with an aggressive defense.
I think this Thursday will be a good
because they got the Bills.
They got the Bills at home, yeah. I think. Mm-hmm. So I think that'll be a good game.
We can jump into kind of more so the afternoon slate now.
I mean, we could Vikings hooped.
Vikings did hoop. I mean,
it's just hard to say because like they play the Giants. Like nothing really happened. Like the Giants still suck. Like it is what it is. Like Sam Darnold did really good.
Started out 12 for 12.
Yeah,
looked very sharp. Offense looked really good. Defense looked really good. Got a real test against the Niners, who they beat last year at home. And the game's at home again.
Yeah, like that looked good. And like Panthers are the worst team in the league. Saints decided to put up 40 something on them.
47.
Yeah, 47 to 10.
Yeah.
Who's to blame
for the Panthers? The team, like the fucking players.
But like specific, like
it might just be everybody.
It might be everyone. Everybody. Yeah, like they got this is their new coach, right?
Yeah, Canales from
and
Tampa.
new OC.
Except for him.
It's okay. It's not his fault. It just Bryce Young just looks like shit. But like their O line is like awful. And then it's like, okay, well, they went and got Deontay Johnson. I'd be like, is Deontay Johnson really a number one receiver? Not really. He's kind of a slot guy. Okay, Adam Thielen's still there. He's also pretty small. They don't really have like a big body receiver. It was Terrence Marshall, but I don't even know if they have him anymore. And like they don't have a tight end.
They don't have Brian Burns anymore.
They don't have Brian Burns. Their defense is piss.
Yeah.
So they lost their best defensive player.
The Panthers are going to be bad probably for the next like 4 years. Like they are in the ultimate rebuild. Like.
Yeah.
And that's not even saying like Bryce Young is going to be like good because he looks scary bad. So I don't know.
The thing is, it's
maybe you'll have your own pick. You'll have your own pick this year.
Yeah, they finally have their own pick, but we have their second round pick.
God, I feel so bad for Travis Hunter.
Does he go number 1 though?
No. You think he'll be number 1? God, Giants are. It's crazy when you're a Giants fan. You're like, wow.
And what do you use him at?
There's a team worse than us in the league.
And what do you use him at? You use him at corner or you use him receiver? If I had to say, I guess receiver.
You have to be receiver.
Because your offense looks like shit.
I just think when you look at Bryce Young, he's an undersized QB, but he doesn't have the athleticism of like somebody like Kyler, for example, to get out of the pocket. So when that pocket breaks down, he's not quick enough to get out and still make the read.
His very first pass of the season got intercepted.
Yeah.
So
it's like everything's working against him because he's an undersized QB. He's not really that athletic, and he doesn't have a big arm.
I think it's starting to turn into this like.
And he doesn't get the ball out
This
fast.
Rhetoric is starting to happen. Be like Zach Wilson. Be like Sam Darnold. Be like these guys. They're getting drafted into terrible situations, but they're gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And get like a chance to play, and they're gonna show what they can do.
Yeah.
Like this is Sam Darnold finally showing you like, hey. I can, and we kind of got it when he was on the Panthers for like a little bit, but this is really like, hey, you give me the weapons, like I can hoop.
And he looked really, really good to start, throughout the entirety of the game.
Like you're telling me you throw Bryce Young on like the 49ers or something, he's playing this bad. There's no way. There's no way.
I think it could just that would just be another Trey Lance situation.
That's what I mean. I think he'd just do better. I think he'd do better on any team that's not the Panthers. Like
it just sucks because like their running back room is also shit because Jonathan Brooks is out.
Chuba Hubbard's good. Chuba Hubbard is good. Miles Sanders got overpaid. Like,
what would you do? Like, if you're fucking the Panthers?
I don't know.
No draft capital.
We just suck. Like,
Jesus.
We just suck. Like,
oh my god.
Like, I'd say do a fire sale, but like, who the fuck are we getting rid of? Like, we've already got rid of our best piece.
You gotta get a fifth,
and we didn't get shit for it. Like,
maybe.
God, like we give it Brian Burns, we can get shit for it. Like, I don't know. I'd be like, guys, just go out there and have fun. Like. Just go out there and try.
God, I'm already thinking like, God, Bryce Young in like 3 years. What team is he on? And he hoops like what team? What
I don't even.
What's that team he's on?
The fucking Lions, bro. Because Jared Goff's so old. Like he went to the Rams now because Stafford retired. Like some shit like this.
Cup's still on the out route, wide open every time. Bryce Young can't hit him.
I just feel bad for. We fleeced the Did we ruin the Panthers franchise?
Yeah.
Like giving them the first pick. Like.
the whiff on the trade and then like not taking Stroud. I don't think Stroud is who he is now in the Panthers as well.
No way.
So, God.
But they're also not this bad.
Yes, like...
He's so much better on the Texans. Like, he would just look weird in a Panthers uniform.
But, like, I think both would get worse if you swapped them.
Oh, yeah.
Bryce Young, he's a very, like, specific... he needs to be in the perfect position.
It's just so tough because people are going to be like, yeah, you could have taken Stroud, but, like... If you're really looking back, be like, all right, number one pick.
Bryce Young was the consensus.
Bryce Young won the fucking Heisman.
Yeah,
he won the fucking Heisman, and he was the consensus number one pick. Like, he's just not gonna. He's just gonna play bad, and it's just so easy to like be like, oh yeah, they should have taken this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, well, when you really think about it, like, they were gonna take him at number one. Like,
it's very, like I said, it's situational based for sure. But you need, for a quarterback like him, you need to have a creative offense to get the ball out quicker.
Yeah, like...
But you also need to have a run game you can lean on.
Their O-line is just so bad.
Yes.
That's the problem.
They just have no real defined weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's crazy. If they had their own draft pick, this would have been the year to go get Marvin Harrison.
2 years
or,
with not your own draft pick.
Or Neighbors, whatever you wanted to do there, to go get your weapon. But, like, you went out and got the guy, but you gave him an incompetent-ass roster, like, to work with. Like, this is worse than when Sam Darnold got drafted to the Jets.
Jesus.
This roster's pretty...
I was just about to ask, I'd be like, who the fuck did they draft? I was like, oh, wait, we have the pick. Oh, wait.
Nah, so, I mean, Panthers just... It's going to be a long 7 years.
7, you think? Holy fuck.
Plus. Because you got to think, once you get after... Say you get done with the Bryce Young era, then that's another rebuild in itself. Like...
On early mock drafts, I'm seeing Shedeur going to the Giants.
We can get into because I have like a bunch of just takes in general.
Yeah.
Like Giants should have drafted a QB this year.
Yeah, fuck yeah, they should have.
Over Neighbors.
Fuck yeah, they should have.
Because they had 7.
Dude,
7.
I thought it was 5 or 6.
5
was early.
Because I
have no idea.
I think it was 6. Because Chargers went alt and Giants took. Okay, so. Giants should have went QB.
Yeah, you could have got Penix or Nix at that spot, I'm pretty sure.
Because your defense isn't even bad. Like, your defensive front is really solid. It's just, like, offensively, you can't move the ball.
But they were like, hey, Daniel Jones.
But...
We signed him. Let's get it going.
He signed that contract. It's on the last year. So, it's not the worst thing in the world.
They're going to take a quarterback this year. They have to. They're going to do so bad this year, they're going to have to.
They're going to be a top 5
and you're going to be looking at a good, possibly great QB class coming with Ewers. If Ewers wants to go, if you could get Milroe maybe wanting to go early, if you got Shedeur wanting to go early, like you got, and then I'm not even talking about like all the seniors that they have around the nation. Like there's also some good quarterbacks out there.
So looking at kind of what you
and you're gonna have a top 3 pick because you're ass.
Yeah.
Like
NFL teams are stupid.
Yep.
We've discussed this. They're the type of team to go take
DN at number 1 corner.
No,
Travis Hunter.
Like here's what they would do. They would think that they're in a position to draft another position of need outside of quarterback and then get a flyer guy like a Sam Darnold we did this year for a year, a bridge guy, in case they don't feel like they're most confident in Ewers.
Obviously, they have their bridge guy. It's fucking Drew Lock.
Yeah. But like it would be like
Lock is there.
Yeah, so it's an interesting situation to think about what they're looking at in the draft next year. But I feel like they were in a position to where like you could have went and drafted a QB this year.
Carson Beck could go.
Like it's so interesting to see the Giants just. Man, it's tough.
I mean, maybe they did know that this quarterback class coming up was going to be good. They know Daniel Jones' contract is about to end. Why not pick up Neighbors? If you really like Neighbors, then yeah. I mean, it makes sense then to pick up Neighbors, prep him a year for this upcoming quarterback that you know you're going to end up taking.
Does he get benched?
Who?
Jones.
Yes.
You think so?
Eventually, yeah.
If this really is the last year of his contract, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Then I don't see a reason.
I'm almost confident that it's the last year of his contract.
Could be.
Because
there could be one more.
Could be one more.
Because it could have been 4 years.
Because beat the Vikings got the extension that year. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah. There's no way it was just a 2-year extension.
It was 3. So
3-year
this
extension.
would be. So it would be one more.
You're so wrong.
Yeah.
You're so wrong. It's 2 more years after.
Yeah, 2 years sounds about right.
Jesus.
Because I was in the hospital with my sister when he beat you guys, and that was when he got basically extended. And I was like, okay, that was 2 years ago.
How big that contract? What's the details on that contract? We know.
4 years, 160.
Jesus Christ.
Guaranteed.
Now he's throwing pick sixes to D linemen.
Didn't K
Like they could get out of it.
It might
They
be
could
worth
get
it.
out of it after next year, but then we got like 27 million in dead cap.
See, that's what I saw. That's what I
Yikes.
saw. They could get out of it next year.
Yikes.
That's what I saw. It wasn't the last
So
year.
it's like
That's
a
what-
Broncos situation.
Yeah. But I mean,
No, not that bad.
27.
That's a lot.
Yeah, honestly, really, whatever.
That's a lot, but when you think about it compared to Russ's, you're like, holy fuck.
If you go into next year knowing you're going to draft a quarterback, that's fine.
I mean, like,
You
get a young guy in there. You get like a young quarterback in there. You get like a Shadur or like an Ewers. Like he's throwing to neighbors. Like Jalen Hyatt's still good.
Wandale Robinson.
Like Wandale.
Then
like,
you just have to then that's when you go get.
and then you got to go get a tight end. You go get like Mike Gesicki for a year. You go get you beef up the O line. Like your
Mike
defense.
Gesicki go make a name for himself
Your
in the
defense
Bengals.
isn't like shit. Like you arguably have one of the better D lines in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Like you upgraded your defense. Like Bobby Okeriki's in there still, and like I know you lost Xavier McKinney, but like you still got some young guys at corner. Like what the fuck are the Giants doing?
Brian
like,
Daboll out of there this year.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's another guy that's going to be all
this year or next year.
Yeah.
This year or mid-season next year. That's what I'm thinking.
mid-season.
Didn't he win Coach of the Year 2 years ago?
Yeah, because they beat the Vikings. This is everything that happened because they made the playoffs and they beat the Vikings.
Then they got waxed by the Eagles.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, he made the playoffs though.
That was gonna happen.
They were like a wicked 10-6. or
Did he win?
10-7.
Did he win Coach of the Year?
No.
I thought he did, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. Matt
Really?
Nagy is Coach of the Year, so he could have. They just be handing that shit out.
It's wicked. It's a wicked take.
Yes, he did win Coach of the
Oh
Year.
my god. Yeah, and then
We bottomed that franchise.
Jesus.
Fuck them. Fuck them. They deserve this.
and then all this happens at noon, and then I took a nap. I took a nap during the afternoon
There's
games.
some other stuff. This is smaller stuff. Justin Fields, solid showing.
yeah.
T.J. Watt,
Jeez.
insane performance.
I tried to tell you, bro, about the Steelers defense. I hate the Steelers. I'm number one Steelers hater. But, like, the Steelers defense is legit.
Oh no, it is.
And it's TJ Watt.
I was sitting there watching it at noon. I'm like, wow.
TJ Watt's going to win defensive play. If he stays healthy, knock on wood, he's going to win defensive play.
should.
He got robbed last year. He's going to
Yeah.
get it this year.
Going into the Falcons side of things, Kirk definitely looked rusty. It doesn't help that T.J. Watt played the way he did against that Steelers
The
defense
O-line
week one.
was sus.
Yes.
Their O-line was really off and on. He threw a pick and then a fumble, I think.
One of the things that I noticed from Kirk Cousins being with the Vikings, when his feet are always offset and the injury is affecting him because his feet are even now, and he's scared to plant and really get power off that back foot. And I feel like that's gonna. It's like a mental thing with him right now.
Well,
But I feel
somehow Kyle Pitts scored a touchdown. What the
Yeah.
hell? Are we back in on Kyle Pitts? Not yet.
Not yet.
They play the Eagles next week, so this will be interesting.
Bijan just being used how he should, though. I mean,
Yeah, finally.
this is just a tough week one game. With how that defense is against a whole new looking
Arthur Smith
team.
Arthur Smith revenge game.
That's like the worst defense for Kirk Cousins to go against week one.
Yes.
Thankfully, next
TJ
week when he
Watt
plays
on the
the Eagles, the Eagles DB room is so shit. So he should be able to move around and everything. I think he'll be better. He'll definitely be better next week.
And you got to think, coming off a torn Achilles just last year, kind of him and Rodgers, I felt had kind of the same problems in terms of just being a little rusty.
Mobility issues.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think they're going to be fine. What else? You know what? Before we get into the Browns and the Cowboys, Baker looked sharp. Gotta show love to Baker.
Yes, he did.
4 tuds. I know Nick.
260 something.
Nick, we know, big Baker guy.
He looks
I
like
was
it.
eating that up.
Big Baker guy.
Commanders.
But
Dude.
hey, they beat Detroit next week though.
Hey, next week, show me something.
We they beat
Commanders.
Detroit next week.
Commanders. Jaden Daniels though, 2 rushing tugs. I like it.
Fancy demon.
I like it.
The
Terry
only other
McLaurin, non-existent. 3 points.
Going into last thing about the noon games is talking about the Chargers.
Oh Jesus.
1-0.
Well, no.
Got
Play
to
the
go
fucking
with-
Raiders.
Got to go. Hey,
Played the
hey,
Raiders.
one thing I wanted to note
Their offense
because
didn't even look good.
one thing I want to note because you were super negative on the Joe Alt pick.
Yeah.
Super negative. 1-on-1, no help against Crosby all day yesterday. One of the best in the world. Didn't give up a single pressure. Had Max Crosby doing absolutely nothing out there.
See, that's just bad scheme on defense. How do you?
Oh, now
how
it's
do you
bad
not?
scheme.
How do you not notice
Now
that
it's
and
bad-
now
just
it's
put him
bad
on the?
scheme.
How do you not notice that and just put him
Joe
on the
Alt
other
had
side?
him in a box.
Yeah, he did. Good for him.
Not a single pressure for Max Crosby, one of the best in the game. Not a single pressure on Justin Herbert.
Good job, man.
Quentin Johnson hit his prop.
Yeah, I'm glad Justin Herbert had
J.K.
165
Dobbins,
yards,
Come on now.
and like that was it.
I think there was only one quarterback to throw over 200 this weekend. So, one or two. It wasn't over 3.
Mahomes did,
Baker did.
and I think so did Lamar.
I think those were the only 3.
Jalen Hurts. probably
Jalen
did.
Hurts and Jordan Love. So
Jordan
it's
Love
5.
probably did too.
5. No, but I don't think
But
anybody.
it's not over 3.
Did
No
AR or
chance.
Stroud? Stroud did.
Did he?
Stroud did.
There was a good list
Stroud
of
had
elite.
like 225.
Anthony Richardson did. I know Anthony Richardson
Stroud
did.
had like 225. All right, you dropped the pan.
No.
You-
Well, no,
You
AR
might've-
only completed like 9 passes.
It don't
the
matter.
only
They
reason
were
he hit the
far.
over is because they were both like 80 fucking yards.
Yeah. Sam Darnold probably did.
No.
Really? He didn't have over 200?
I know.
I got you.
Yeah, look it up. There's a list of the quarterbacks who
One,
didn't. I
two.
saw on Twitter. Dak didn't. Burrow didn't.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 quarterbacks.
Oh my.
threw
Wow, you were
200
so
yards,
wrong.
So the other half didn't.
Including Derek Carr, Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
Lake,
Derek Carr.
There, fuck. That's on me.
I told you Sam Darnold probably
That's
did.
on me.
Goff, Purdy, Minshew,
Stafford.
Lamar Jackson.
Gardner Minshew threw for 200 on that Chargers defense?
The loss
257.
and a loss
I gotta look at some fucking stats from this
and
game.
a loss. But all I want to say, Joe Alt put Max Crosby in a box, defending that pick in the first round. Should have went neighbors. Should have went neighbors.
You said not higher than 3.
I swear, because when I saw because I was looking at fantasy stuff. I was looking at fantasy stuff on Twitter, and there was like a long list of quarterbacks that didn't throw over 100, and I was like, damn, that's a lot of names.
Like, are we not just worried about Justin Herbert only throwing for 144 yards?
It's week 1.
That's terrible. Against the Raiders?
That's a gritty division win. That's a gritty division
hell?
win.
That's terrible.
That's a gritty division win.
Man.
They ran the ball a lot.
Then we can get into kind of like talking about the Browns, because we kind of went on a tangent there talking about the Panthers and the Giants. What do the Browns do now? Now I'm going to let y'all talk about this one, because this is one of the only games I didn't get a chance to really sit down and watch from Deshaun Watson. But I've also heard a lot of stuff out of this game. Not a lot of negative, so I'm going to let y'all go ahead and talk about this one.
That's all him.
God, well, for the Browns, I'm going to exclude the fact that there was another lawsuit
Oh, yeah.
for Deshaun Watson. So, like, I'm just going to keep this all football. We're not going to worry about that. I'm not going to, because if he gets suspended, whatever. But purely football, I think you still have to give him the team for a little bit. You know, he didn't have his either tackle, no guard, no Nick Chubb. I mean, it's week 1. Give him this week. Give him a few more. If he continues to look like absolute shit, though, like, I have no problem putting Jameis in, because this dude straight up does not look like he wants to play football.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my biggest takeaways, was that Deshaun Watson, after getting sacked, looks like he does not want to be there.
He gets added to the list. He gets added to the
he's
list.
on that list.
The list
Yes,
of
he
players
is.
who look like they don't want to play.
Yeah. But again, like I said, like Cowboys defense is also a really hard defense to go against. Michael Parsons had 8 QB pressures. DeMarcus Lawrence had 2.5 sacks.
Jesus.
Trayvon Diggs is back. Like that was a really hard defense to go against. So I think give him a few more weeks. I don't know when Nick Chubb is supposed to be back, when these tackles are supposed to be back.
Yeah, I think we were just so blinded. We were like, you know what? This Browns offense is going to turn it up. Nah.
I did not notice the tackles were out for the Browns.
Yeah, they're missing like Jedrick Willis and whoever the other guy is. Brennan said something about it yesterday. I can't remember who it was.
I mean,
But
good win
I
for
don't
the
know,
Cowboys,
like,
I guess.
It's
Zeke's back for seconds.
got in the end
He
zone.
got in the end zone.
No more red zone
Fuck
problems.
Jake Ferguson got hurt, but
He's
I
all
think
right, though. He's all right. Cook's got a touchdown.
Yep. For
Did he-
us, we looked good. I am a little nervous, because in the second half, like, you know what? Oh, we're up 33. We're up 33-10 or whatever. Like, no, Shit ain't sweet. We only had 7 yards for the first quarter and a half of the second half. So, gotta keep the foot on the gas. Because although the Browns defense is good, I don't think they're the best. I think there's definitely gonna be better. We played pretty good against Myles Garrett. I liked a lot of the scheming that we did. We were rolling around. We were getting chip blocks, cut blocks. They literally were doing everything they could against him. So if we can take that into other matchups against good defensive teams, then I think we're going to be looking really good because we're making up for the fact that we have 2 rookie tackles, I think 2 rookie tackles, 2 new tackles. And they got beat a few times, but whatever, that's going to happen. I still think they did pretty good.
Mike Zimmer's defense.
Mike Zimmer's defense, again, looks really good. Just getting to the fucking ball carrier. I don't know when Deron Bland is supposed to be back, but defense looked good. I'm scared to see, obviously, how we look against a better offense because that's the fucking worst offense we could have gone against. But I'm excited. I don't want to get too high, though, because, bro, this is what happened last year. We beat the Giants by 40 points. The Cowboys are so good. And then we get beat by 40 points by the Niners, and it's just the sky is falling. So let's chill out.
Well, does the three-peat start this year?
Of course.
Yes, it does.
Of course it does.
But let's keep it down. Keep it down.
Yeah, I want to be low-key.
Bro. We ain't a top 5 team. No.
But 5 to 10, y'all there.
Yeah, for sure.
5 to 10, y'all there.
For sure.
I mean, I gotta just see Cowboys against the Niners. I gotta see them against good teams, like you said. It's just, we know how good the team is in the regular season, but the looming question is now formed of, it's the playoffs. So whatever they do in the regular season is never going to matter.
It really don't matter.
They can win 14 games in the regular season, and it's not going to matter to really anybody. But we can kind of shift to Sunday night game.
Bills-Cardinals.
Marvin Harrison.
Cardio.
What the fuck?
Cardio Harrison. I mean, shit. They were like, you know what, James Conner, you are our offense.
No, it was Dortch all day.
Greg Dortch
and Kyler all day.
Is that the dynamic? The stack? Is that the stack?
No, it's not.
Is that the stack you need for fantasy?
No.
Greg Dortch and Kyler.
Bills gritty win for my MVP,
Bills
Josh Allen.
Surprised me. I didn't expect it to be moving at a good cylinder, as much as it is without a number 1 receiver and everything.
Sometimes less can be more.
So and Allen,
he spread it out to everybody.
Allen played really well. He played really well. He had his one. Did he throw a pick?
I don't think so.
If he did, I'm not gonna be surprised. But if he didn't, then that's pretty good. I know they fumbled once. I think.
Mm-hmm. They look like the Packers. Mm-hmm. With so many different options at receiver, there isn't a one, so you can really just spread it around. James Cook got off. The only one you really didn't get involved was Kincaid, which
he was doing nothing. Keon Coleman didn't really do anything either.
He had one grab. But I mean, Shakir.
But show me it Thursday. Because you're playing a Cardinals defense that's not very good. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these teams, I need to see it again.
Yeah.
You're showing me this, you're doing so good, but you're playing bottom 5. I'm watching teams beat up on bad teams. Good teams beat up on bad teams.
Right.
I need to see you do it against a mid team or a good team, and then I'll be okay.
Right.
Maybe you guys can start or keep going. And then the Seahawks and
especially when you were down 17.
Yeah. Down 17 to the Cardinals, and the Seahawks and Broncos. Poverty game of the week.
Gino back as soon as the game started.
First throw pick. He said, "Let's get it out of the way." And then Bo Nix threw 2 picks, and Kenneth Walker went crazy, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Seahawks 1-0.
Yeah.
And then we got cinema.
Yeah.
Then you get your
overtime game on Sunday night.
Then you get your cinema Sunday night game. Cooper Kupp, he's back. He is back.
We were watching that game.
Puka goes down. He on the PUP list now for 4 weeks. Not going to be doing nothing. The IR. And Cooper Kupp's guess y'all need me again.
Cooper Kupp on that out route is just
unstoppable.
It's just open
10-yard
every
out
time.
Route. 10-yard out route. Wherever the stick is, he's running that. That's where the out route's going.
Bro.
And it's just there. He had 14 grabs or something for 80 yards.
He had over a touchdown.
Yeah,
and a touchdown.
And a touchdown. Catches.
He have him in almost every single fantasy league. Almost hooped.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be fine because they have him. You got you got Minnesota legend Tyler Johnson that you're high on. Kyron, people were worried about, still got majority of snaps. Like, I'm surprised Blake Corum didn't get really any work.
I know.
I was shocked because I thought that was kind of the rumor coming in. But the only thing about...
I saw Ronnie Rivers got some tick.
Colby Parkinson, remember the name. Remember the name.
Tyler Higginbottom out for
A while.
3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Is that ACL?
By that time, that's Colby Parkinson going to be tight end 1.
Colby Parkinson. I think... Write this down. I'm on the Rams this season. You guys got your Chargers? I'm the Rams.
But we're also on the Rams.
I'm the Rams.
Oh, you're on the Rams.
I'm the Rams. I'm a solo rider on the Rams until they play the Bears. Then we're off the Rams.
Okay. But looking at it, the only defense also looked a lot better without Aaron Donald than I thought it was going to look, especially against the Lions who have all those options. But the only thing I do have with the Rams is kind of what's been the theme when they played the Lions last year in the championship divisional is like there's times where like they get into that red zone, they drive the ball downfield, but they just can never get.
We have a lot of red zone problems.
Yes, get the touchdowns. And I feel like that's where like you could use maybe Blake Corum in more packages, just have a different back out there compared to Kyron. But like they need to figure that out. They need to clean that up because
Stafford threw a pick in the red zone, and then I think there was a fourth down they didn't get. I don't know if that was in the.
It's very uncharacteristic because they literally didn't have any turnovers in the red zone last year.
Yeah, so that was the first Stafford pick against the Lions. Yeah, and like you said about the red zone, never a pick in the red zone. So that was very. I think that was just a misread by him.
I wouldn't get used to that. I think they're going to be better at that. I think they might struggle now with no Puka because, like you said, now they're going to be a little bit more one-dimensional in the red zone. But once he's back, I think they're going to be fine. Matthew Stafford is like.
That's where you slide in Tyler Johnson.
One of the best quarterbacks.
You slide in Tyler Johnson all Puka's routes.
I don't think that's low key.
Like higher than people think, though.
How high?
Like Mahomes, Josh Allen, Stafford type E.
Stafford's amazing. He's amazing.
So is that gap between him and Burrow not there?
He's better than Burrow.
He's better than Burrow.
He's better than Burrow.
He is better than Burrow.
Oh,
from what I've seen, like
you could even argue he's better than Josh Allen.
Biased, but he's just better.
You could argue it. I'm not going to agree with it, but
so you're saying Stafford's number 2 in the league?
He could be. You could argue it. There's an argument to be made. I'm not going to make that argument.
Yeah, argument's made, but I
there's an argument to be made.
Undoubtedly top 5.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he got to be.
Okay. I'm on board. I think Stafford's an absolute killer. Like,
I mean, especially in the NFC. Like, who else? What's the comp in the NFC? Goff, Purdy, Hurts,
Dak.
Is he better? I think he's better than Dak.
I think
right now. I think he's better than Dak right now.
Stafford's better, yes.
NFC is probably Stafford, Dak, Hurts.
Yeah. Caleb Williams.
And I think there's a gap between Dak and Hurts.
Yeah.
And then it's like Goff and Purdy.
Yeah, it's like Caleb Williams and like Kirk and.
Don't let Stafford beat. Don't let Darnold beat the Niners next week.
Probably like Caden Williams and like Daniel Jones.
And, right. Jesus Christ.
And then Sam Darnold.
But going on to the Lions side of things, like just J-Mo getting more involved in the offense.
Amon-Ra. Not really. Rams did a really good job of holding him.
Yes. But I think you're fine because I know what I'm getting from Amon-Ra, but if you can get J-Mo to be doing that consistently.
He's just so fast.
Like, the packages they use him in is kind of why I feel like the Chiefs are going to be using Xavier Worthy. And like I said earlier, like a lot of jet sweeps, a lot of screens to where you just need to get the ball in his hands. And he's receiver-wise, I've seen more from him than Worthy to where like he can just beat one-on-one downfield and he can't be caught. Like, then you get overtime where you're just like, David Montgomery, take us home.
David Montgomery was like, wow, I didn't play the fourth quarter. I'm just going to win the game. Like,
God. Yeah, I mean, like the Rams defense at that point so tired.
That's so much bread on David Montgomery.
B and Connor had so much bread on David Montgomery, and he didn't get a single fucking attempt.
They won
the
that
entire
toss.
Second half.
They won the toss. We were up.
Yes,
we were up. We were up as they won the toss.
But Lions defense definitely looked a lot better compared to last year. I feel like last year it was a lot of shootout games, but I feel like this defense this year is a lot more capable of stopping like a high-powered offense. But
Aiden Hutchinson.
Yes, they're more complete. I feel like this year
they'll get better as the year goes on too.
Yeah.
In the back end, DJ Reader will get better
because he didn't even play.
Who?
DJ Reader.
Really?
I don't think he played. No.
Oh.
He's a tackle from the Bengals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't. I don't think he played. He was out.
Oh.
So they didn't even have him.
There you go.
So, back half of the year, we know how good the Lions are. Probably one of the most complete teams in the league. That running game is probably the best in the league. Pair that up with the O-line. The only thing that they have missing, and they talked about on the call, is how kind of thin that wide receiver room is. When J-Mo did go down, it looked like he did get hurt. So that could be an issue, especially if they do end up losing like him or Amon-Ra, if that even does happen. But they should still be fine with how dynamic that running game is. And you got kind of a quiet game from Laporta as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think both these teams, I think we could see a rematch possibly in the wild card again of these two teams, because I do think these two teams kind of...
They match up well.
They do match up really well. And the only thing that's killed the Rams is like they'll march the ball down the field and they just can't get into the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that's been really killing them against the Lions. Then we can get into last night, Monday night game.
It was always the 49ers.
Yeah.
It was never not the 49ers. I don't know.
I will say Aaron Rodgers looked solid. I don't think Aaron Rodgers was to blame. He was getting the ball out quick. O-line looked pretty good.
I mean, they just made quick work of that defense.
Yeah. The only thing is they couldn't really get anything going.
For 21 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Frank Mason.
That fumble killed that whole drive and all the momentum that they did have. The drive that they did go down and score, though, that was really, really good.
That was a really good drive. That's fucking Aaron Rodgers to Garrett Wilson, every time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what you're going to see.
The Aaron Rodgers free play merchant.
Yep, they scored. Lazard had
We
two.
do need to see one more person able to catch the ball, because it was just Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall.
Lazard.
Mike Williams, I'm interested to see when he's
He only played
100%
8
go.
snaps. That's what they said. He played 8 snaps.
So when he's 100% go, and if he does stay healthy, he can be a threat for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But they need to. Somebody else needs to step up, like you said. And I don't know if it's Lazard or Mike Williams.
It's gonna be Lazard. He had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lazard did end up with 8 catches for 80 yards or whatever it was. So.
And they even have that.
I mean,
that's kind of why I bet his receiving yards.
I say it doesn't help that they barely have a tight end.
Yeah.
Like Taylor Conklin's there. He's just there.
Yeah. Breece Hall. It felt like every time he tried to get going, that defense was making it tough. Fred Warner was
Everywhere.
insane. Anywhere.
That's the best linebacker in the league.
It was just insane defensive performance. And the only thing that they just struggled with, they have an elite secondary, but with Hassan Reddick being out, he's supposed to be their guy that can go put pressure on the quarterback. But without him, they really can't get pressure on the quarterback. Not a single pressure on Brock Purdy the entire game. Mm-hmm. Which that's also
And
Niners have a good
they had
O-line.
one sack, and it wasn't even a sack because he just slid behind. He and whoever touched him got the sack.
Yeah. So looking at that, I think it's definitely interesting. Jets definitely have some things to clean up, but I'm not worried about them because Aaron Rodgers looked good. You still have a really good defense. It's just a tough matchup playing the Niners, who have all those weapons, and with their O-line and how they were able to run the ball. Their whole thing is can they get somebody else going on offense? And if Rodgers stays healthy. If they both stay healthy, we already talked about Robert Saleh being on the hot seat as well. That could come into question depending on how they do throughout the year. But they play the Titans next week. I think they get a dub there.
Probably.
So they'll get back on track for sure. It's just a tough matchup going against San Fran, who I don't know why the fuck I was low on them, but it's fine.
They look good. I mean, I was all over that 4.5. So
Jets punt first drive.
Yep. And then profit boost into the 4.5.
But
Boom.
we can. Last 2 things we can get to is our official power rankings.
Yep.
For this week, so
we already went over this.
Yes.
So we're not gonna have to argue.
Yeah. So we already went over it. Top 10 power rankings based off just week 1, not going into the year, just based off this week. Number 10, showing love to Tampa Bay. Number 9, we have the Miami Dolphins. Number 8, we have the Buffalo Bills. 7 is the Ravens. 6 is the Cowboys. 5 is the Texans. 4 is the Eagles. 3 is the Lions. 2 is San Fran, and then 1 is Kansas City. So that are the power rankings for week 1, just based off this week, and they'll kind of fluctuate as the weeks go on. But to wrap up the episode, we got to go into our week 2 pick'ems.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday night, Bills at Miami. I'm going Bills.
I'm gonna go Miami. It's in Miami.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Bills.
I'm gonna go Miami. spread.
2.5.
Yep, we're taking that.
Saints at Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Oh my God. Give me the Cowboys.
Tampa at Detroit.
God, it's going to be a good game.
Spread 7.
That's insane.
I think with how give me Tampa.
I might take Bucks to cover.
Yeah, I think
Give
Tampa
me the Bucks
covers.
to cover.
They're not going to win. I think the Lions are going to win, but they'll cover that. Touchdown? You can even push on that? Like,
I think Tampa could lose by a field goal.
yeah.
I think Tampa keep it within a field goal. And
That defense will keep them in the game.
Tampa come out and win,
Nah.
and they're already on the top 10 power rankings.
No way.
Be fire though. Little revenge
It'd be
spot.
cool.
Little revenge spot from last year in the playoffs.
Uh-huh.
Colts at Green Bay. No
Colts.
Jordan Love.
Colts.
I'm going Colts.
Just give me the Colts.
What's the Colts spread?
3.5.
Oh my God. I might put my
They're
bank
favored.
account on it.
They're favored.
Yeah. I'm going to put my
Big
bank
JT
account on
day. Jets at Tennessee. Jets are -3.5.
it. Jets.
Jets.
Is that just spread? Just
Probably, yeah.
okay. San Fran at Minnesota.
San Fran.
-6.
Yeah. I don't like that spread, though.
If it was 7, touchdown would be different.
Mhm.
It's just us until it's not. I mean, Sam Darnold revenge game.
What?
Okay.
Watch. Just
Okay.
watch. Watch. I can't wait for next week when
Well,
I'm sitting here and we
whatever.
beat the Niners for the second straight year in a row.
Whatever.
Seahawks at Patriots.
Seahawks.
-3.5. Give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, just give me the Seahawks.
Giants at Commanders.
Jesus
Gritty divisional
Christ.
game.
Commanders,
Give me
I
the
guess.
Commanders.
Yeah.
-2.
Come on.
Yeah, Commanders, I guess.
Yep.
Big Jane Daniels game right there.
Chargers at Panthers.
Chargers, I
Chargers are
guess.
6.5.
6.5.
Chargers.
Chargers. Browns at Jags. Jags are -3.
Jags.
Jags.
Jags, yeah.
Vegas at Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Baltimore -9.5.
Yeah, jeez. Almost double digit
damn.
spread. Gotta go Baltimore. Bounce back spot.
Here's our fire afternoon game right here. Rams at Cardinals.
Rams.
Arizona -2.
Rams. That's
I'm
insane.
going the Rams.
Yeah, give me the Rams.
It's because they don't have Puka. No.
Steelers at Broncos.
Steelers.
Steelers -3.
Yeah.
Justin Fields 2-0.
Yeah, sadly.
Give me the Steelers. Goddamn.
Bengals at KC.
KC.
KC's -6.
Should be more.
It's just KC
Jeez.
until it's not.
It should be KC -13.
Bears at Texans.
Fuck.
Texans are -6.5.
It's just the Bears until it's not the Bears.
It's the Texans.
It's the Texans, but
Bears.
Bears gonna put up a fight. It's gonna be closer than people think. Falcons
Does
at
Caleb Williams do 100 yards?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Falcons at Eagles Monday night. Eagles 6.5.
Eagles.
It's the Eagles until it's not as well. I think
It'll be a good game, I think. I think I'd take like the over in that game.
47.5.
Yeah, I'd probably run that.
Yeah.
I might take Eagles overs until it's not.
Yeah.
Just because I know their defense. I know they can score hella, and their defense is going to give up hella.
I think I don't think they cover, but I think Eagles win for sure. Eagles defense, I gotta see more from them as well. But that's really all I have for this week's episode.
Yep.
Week 2 pick'em's gonna be the power rankings will be posted out on Twitter. But that's all I have for this episode. Thank you guys for tuning into the Barrel Talk podcast. Hope you tune in to future episodes.
Yes, sir.